Yeah, welcome to this video. This will be a bit different video because in this video I'll present an interesting game and do commentary on this as usual. But this video is also meant to point you to another interesting chess channel on YouTube, and this is the channel Online Chess Lessons. It's very interesting channel because it presents very wide range of subjects within chess. It also features lots of videos by grandmasters, very often presenting their own games and showing their insights. This is always very interesting to see players do comments on their own games. So it's a very interesting channel, and I wanted to point you to this. And also present a game here in this video by the creator of this channel, and this is US National Master William Stewart. He recently got a very interesting win, a very nice game against US junior star Ray Robson, who's rated above 2,600 already, and he will manage to win a very nice game. I won't present that though, because it has been done on video quite a number of times already. If you want to watch this game, you should check out Will's channel, Online Chess Lessons. He has got this game featured, of course. But I'll show you another game that he played about 2 years ago against an international master. His opponent is playing black here. Toloza is the name. He's from Chile, from South America. And let's see how the game proceeds. Will opens one knight f3, and it's knight f6, symmetrical answer. And here we see b3. So it's rather quiet fianchetto opening. I myself quite often play g3 at this point. Very often those openings are only deceptively quiet. They start out quiet, but an advantage compared to some other more sharp looking lines is that actually the pieces are still on the board after 15 moves. I'm always amazed that people think, okay, you need to play e4 to get a sharp game. Well, this is just bogus. You can play e4 and your opponent plays the Petrov, and after 20 moves you're sort of falling asleep. And this rarely happens in those fianchetto openings. I mean, you just delay the fight for a couple of moves, but it will pop up with all the pieces on the board. Okay, on b3, black of course has a wide range of answers. He just answers b6. And now g3, so we've got this kind of double fianchetto opening. Bishop b7 and bishop g2. Yeah, at this point, of course, as there are no pawns in the center, black could play a wide range of moves. He could stay within complete symmetry, which would be okay. Or also could just play e6, sort of a Queen's Indian setup. And this, because it's very flexible, could lead to different kinds of positions. Even a hedgehog could easily arise, something like this. And we've got this typical hedgehog kind of position. So it's a very flexible way of opening a game, these double fianchetto lines. But black played something entirely different here. He played e5. Now this is quite interesting. I don't think it's a bad move, but one thing which you always have to keep in mind are certain kinds of positional features sometimes don't work well together. And one of those things that don't work well together very often is to push the e-pawn 2 squares and have a queenside fianchetto. So the bishop on b7 and a pawn on e5 here. Very often those kind of this kind of combination has one drawback, and this is the square f5. This f5 square is very often naturally covered by the bishop being on c8. So if it would be on c8, it would cover this f5 square, and this simply is not the case if the bishop is fianchettoed. Shadowed. So very often this is a sensitive square, and it's a square which can easily be used by a knight, and this knight is close to the king. So this is a very instant problem that black needs to face here in the upcoming moves. We see that. Of course, it is playable, but you need to be cautious afterwards. So white answers d3. I think this is a very sensible move. It looks a bit passive, but the issue was black might play e4 if you don't play d3 yourself. So let's say you would simply castle here. Then black might consider playing e4, something like this. And it looks a bit like a reversed Lochin or Alekhine defense. And this move b3 is a bit superfluous in this kind of position. I mean, even c5 could be a problem, as the knight doesn't have the b3 square. So I think it's very sensible to prevent this advance and go for d3. Yeah, black now played d6. You have to at one point cover this pawn. You cannot play this because just e5 is hanging. Bit embarrassing. So at one point you need to cover it. He played d6. White now castled. And yeah, here black plays a move which I think is certainly playable, but I don't know, I don't like it so much. He played c5. It's a move designed to grab more space in the center and controlling d4. So white will never get to play d4, very much likely. It would be difficult to manage this. But this whole setup here is all on dark squares, and those light squares are very sensitive now. So you've got possible weaknesses on those squares. Very often, if you want to go for this setup, you need the bishop really on e6 to cover d5. And this is sort of a little bit of, yeah, it's not really a harmonious setup, but it's playable. So c5, and white played bishop b2 first. Knight b to d7. He wants to keep this diagonal open, so he didn't play knight c6. And now c4, grabbing some space here on the queen side and having a look at the d5 square. Black now played queen c7. This is, I think, yeah, a move that at first doesn't make so much sense, at least if you ask me, but it has got an idea. One problem in this position is if black would play g6, which would be the first move I would think about, because I would like to control this f5 square, and in general the bishop on g7 is just a more flexible piece than on e7, so the attention would be bishop g7 and castles. This move has a problem though. It's a very surprising problem and a motif that is well worth remembering. White can play knight takes e5 here. Very surprising. Bishop g2 and then knight e7, and the problem is this long diagonal. So yeah, white has just one material here. You cannot capture here as bishop f6 would all this. At the end white has an extra pawn, and pretty nice position also. I've got this kind of things also possibly coming. So this is a nice tactical idea. Always have to be aware of tactical ideas on the diagonals. Very often some surprising things are possible. But this is why black couldn't play g6, and I thought this move, queen c7, would actually prepare g6. But yeah, we'll see what happens. White now plays e4, and this is a very interesting decision, and I actually like it a lot. White now blocks the center completely, but he's simply somewhat better placed in this symmetrical position. At first you would think, okay, it's all blocked and nothing much going on, But white has some advantages. He's got the knight still on b1, which is nice because the knight on c3 is just better placed than the knight on d7, as the c3 knight has got ideas like this here. And also white has fianchettoed already, so he's got knight h4 and f4 as ideas. Also, of course, knight h4 to f5. So white is somewhat better in this position. It's all very closed and black still solid, but e4 leads to a position where only white can do something, really. And now black played the move a6, which I don't really understand. I mean, it's very often a kind of routine move that you can play, but I think you simply had better things to do here. I would think just g6 would be better, trying to get ahead with development, and then it could continue something like this: knight h4, bishop g7, and then possibly f4. And this will get interesting. I mean, it's very often like this. Those quiet openings tend to lead to interesting middle games. Here white has got ideas of pushing f5, g4, possibly, or just keep this tension in the center. It's also very interesting to do this. Black also can consider to capture, and this position is also bound to lead into some interesting middle game, where white has got this pawn duo, but black at least now has a possibly fine bishop on g7. So it's an interesting game. I'm not quite sure. Black played a6, and I think this just loses a move. Knight c3, just continuing. Yeah, and now he played bishop e7, which I don't understand. I mean, you need to really play g6 here. You cannot allow what's happening next. So he just should have just played g6 and covering the f5 square. Played bishop e7 now, and now of course knight h4. And this is simply annoying to face the knight appearing on f5. Still, I would consider now to play g6. For better or worse, you need to do this. Cannot allow the knight there. Of course, it makes a strange impression to have this g6 move combined with bishop e7, but it's still better than allowing knight f5. In the game, you played knight back to g8. And after knight f5, bishop f6. So sort of trying to correct this this g6, bishop g7 that was missed before. But I mean, knight g8 cannot be so great. So white certainly enjoys a nice position here. He played now knight to no, queen d2. Sorry, I saw this wrong. I played queen d2 here, completing development, and knight e7. So what should white do now? You have the knight on e5, which is a very nice piece, but how do you proceed here? I think in general there are two ways to do this. The one that William played here, he just retreated the knight, and this is a very useful concept. If you got an advantage in space, and white will have an advantage in space after he pushes f4, then it's very often a good idea to keep pieces on the board, so that black is sort of tied up in his position, which has less space. So knight e3 is a good move. Another interesting idea would have been to immediately push f4, trying to get going here quickly. And because black taking on f5 would lead to a very nice position, with white having the bishops exchange, and then you've got knight d5 coming. So black cannot really take on f5, and then it's annoying if you cannot take on f5. What move are you going to play? An example line would be castles and take on e5. And what should black do now? Possibly this, but check. Here white has an interesting possibility. This exchange sack. And here white has a very, very nice compensation for his exchange. He's got this target on the f-file, very weak pawn, and a super annoying knight. He cannot play rook g8, and white has got various ideas to strengthen the position, even bishop h3 to f5, or maybe knight to f5, and it's simply a position where rooks are not worth much. Black's two rooks are not doing much, and white has got all the ideas. So this would have been also interesting. But as mentioned, the move white played here, knight e3, is also fine, keeping the pieces on the board. Yeah, and now the next move, it's really puzzling. Black played knight to c6 now, and allowing knight d5 here with the tempo seems really weird to me. I think black just needed to castle and try to survive this. This is this position certainly is slightly better for white, but it's not too terrible. Black might even consider something like this. So, I mean, black should just castle. It's also a question if after, oops, not this, after castles, if white should play f4, you have got plenty of time to improve your position. He could also consider other moves first, like king h1 and then f4 and so on. So lots of possibilities, but black now played this somewhat weird move, knight c6, and we see immediately what's happening. White can now use the c3 knight to go to d5 with the tempo. Yeah, black's queen needs to move, and he went to b8. He could have also gone to d8, but what are you doing after knight f5? Just terrible to have those two knights at your doorstep. I think black, in order to protect the d-pawn, he needs to play this move. And then after f4, white has just an overwhelming position. Terrible, really terrible. I don't understand what he was thinking, allowing knight d5. Okay, but he went to b8, and now a very strong move. Bishop h3, also very typical to use this bishop on this diagonal. And the problem is simply white threatens to take, and yeah, win lots of material with knight b6 to come. So if black does a nothing move, just to show it, I could just check. White can just take check and grab everything here. So this is a huge threat. At the end he played bishop c8, but this leads to strategically, yeah, I think lost position. I mean, with good technical play, white should win after this. Check. And he did a good job here. Bishop d7, check, and knight to f6. I mean, it's not so nice to trade this brilliant f5 knight against the bishop, but you need to look at this position in concrete terms. This new knight on d5 just attacks f6, and how should black protect this pawn? If you consider queen here, then there's just this move, and black can resign really. This falls, and white has a huge attack. Let's just, oops, no, not here. Let's say bishop move. Check. Something like this, and black just gets destroyed here. The king pawn down and everything, just terrible. So he played bishop e6 and yeah, surrendered this pawn immediately. It wasn't possible to keep it. Check. Takes here. And now f4. Also nice, you want to have the rook into play and pry open the diagonal if possible. Yeah, and this is also a good move. Gaining more space. There was more than one way to do this, but I like this idea. because it allows this knight to come back to d5 at some point. And you now got a position here with those pieces on the king side. This knight is just so nicely placed there. It prevents anything going on the g file. It attacks the a7 pawn. So very very nice. Here white played bishop c3. Very sensible move. The idea being b4, opening the queen side. In fact, here white also could have tried something more forceful, but I fully understand that he didn't do this. I mean, here it's even possible to play a very aggressive move like b4. I just want to show the motif here. If black takes with a knight, then there's d4. And this is very instructive, distracting the knight from c6. And now it's possible to play this d4. You cannot take here because the knight hangs. And after e takes d4, just bishop takes d4 will ensure that all kinds of lines are opened. White threatens e5, rook b1. It's terrible. All gets opened here. So this is a bit quicker, but it's not necessary really. You just can prepare all this with bishop c3. I just wanted to show the idea. Knight d4 and now b4, opening up the queen side. Black has got absolutely no counterplay. Bishop c6. Yeah, and now a simple continuation. Just swap this knight. And what's left is this knight dominating the whole board. Yeah, the whole board on the right side, so to say, the whole king side. And this is just this very stupid bishop. Yeah, and black's king. White will just pile up on the queen side. Of course, now the knight is hanging. Check. And you can just drop back because yeah, black also cannot really take something like Check. This. You simply won't survive. White will enter on the c file, and you've got an extra pawn and so on. It's just too much. So we need to move the king. And queen h6 is also good. Attacking d6, intending maybe queen g7. Yeah, this is a nice configuration here. Yeah, here in this position, white can do many things. He can also move the queen, but it's also very simple, just exchanging the queen, which William did here. It's still that this knight is dominating the whole king side, and you still have an attack, even even with queens off. Just a4. Yeah, h5. What should black do? And b5, attacking the bishop on c6, and yeah, forcing further opening of lines on the queen side. He retreated. Check. And now it's a very nice finish, taking on a6, and now a5, which really opens up the queen side. Yeah, what should black do? In the game, he captured this pawn, but alternatives are not really better. Let's say a move like b5. White can also simply take here. I know you don't like to take it, but it's simply winning. Check. If black now recaptures, you've got Check. This neat little idea. Check. And it's mate next move. So you catch the king here offside on the queen side. So yeah, often you need to consider those moves that look quite awful on general terms, but if they are just straight winning tactically, it doesn't matter. So b5 wouldn't have saved black. I mean, there is no way to save it. He took on a5. And now just this, controlling the b file. And I mean, this bishop is is just stalemated almost. It cannot move anywhere. The only square it can take is c6, and which this is also what he played. But now knight d5 is nice. White now threatens knight c7. So let's say black would play something like this.
Check.
You've got this coming
Checkmate.
up with a mate. So after knight d5, this threat is, strong is an understatement. So what should black do? He decided to take the knight, and now, white can mate in 2 moves, and it's quite nice. Just played rook b5 here, and the next move will be, rook takes a5 mate. So some move, and it's rook takes a5.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. Yeah, very nice game. Where black really had some problems in handling the opening. This whole setup here sort of implies that you need to be cautious about your light squares, and he didn't really pay any attention to this, surprisingly. So it's this kind of setup with bishop e7 really doesn't fit so well in this. You should really take the chance and play g6, bishop g7. This is better. And here white had the more comfortable position, but knight c6 just gave the game away. I think it's a really weird move. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the game. It showed that you can really get nice attacking positions also with closed openings. Very often those are really underestimated in a way in terms of fighting possibilities. I also like to play those kind of setups as white, and have very nice successes, really, even with nice attacking games here and there. But also think about checking this channel from Will Stewart, online chess lessons. You also get a link here in the video, so also in the description. Make sure to check it out. It's very nice channel and can be a nice addition to your list of subscriptions on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon with new videos.